Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Well guys, it's been a crazy week around my place. I've actually been off of work this week, taking some vacation time at Christmas. I've had a college student, Miles McDonald, who has helped me out before. He's actually been doing some work for me this past week, helping me do some things around here. And we have spent 4 straight days in a row of just working on all kinds of things in the shop. And basically, I've just been trying to check things off of my list of a bunch of things that I have on my list. I've got way too many things on my list that I won't be able to check everything off. But we have made a lot of progress. So I had to be flexible. I have been planning for some time now on what I was going to try to do during this period of time when I was working out in the shop. And unfortunately, some materials that I ordered, I was going to be working on actually the back end of the shop, getting things prepped back there. Well, some things got delayed. They haven't come in yet. So I had to back up and kind of punt. I wasn't able to work on what I had planned on. But I guess the advantage of having a long to-do list is it wasn't any problem. We just went down the list and started on some other stuff. So I've actually held off of starting working on trying to get ceiling and walls and stuff done back in the wood shop. And instead, I've focused on trying to wrap up some things over here on the metal shop side, which I'm actually very, very happy of where we've gotten this week. So let me kind of give you a little update of some things we've worked on. Now, I will tell you up front, things were crazy this week. I was in here working, Miles was in here working. We had air compressors running, we had angle grinders running, we had all kinds of stuff going on, and it just was not a good environment for me to be trying to shoot video in. It was a good environment for us to get some stuff done, so I really haven't been running the video cameras this week. And I apologize for that, but at the same time, quite honestly, most of the work we've been doing has just been grunt work type work. It's not really exciting things. It's removing paint. It's painting. It's just doing little things like that probably aren't worthy of shooting a video of anyway. But I do want to kind of give you an update of where we are. So I'm standing next to the Carleton radial drill, and this machine has been probably 90% done now for 2 months. And what I've been waiting on getting done is getting the motor mounted on this that raises and lowers the whole arm here. That motor, when I got it, it was dead, and I took it to a local motor shop. They had to rewind the motor. It was an unusual frame size. It wasn't something that I could easily replace, so the motor shop actually just rewound that motor for me, basically made it into a new motor again. And I've had that motor back for probably almost 2 months now, and I just haven't been able to get it on the machine because I need some help. So Miles was here. We got the motor mounted on there the other day, and I'm happy to say that this machine is functional now. It will raise and lower. Now I'm going to shoot a whole video featuring this machine here pretty soon. I've got some people, I've posted some pictures on Facebook. Some people are wanting to see me drill some holes with it and do some other things. I'm not quite there yet, but anyway, we're going to be doing a video on that, but I'll feature all the features and kind of show you that. But we did get that done. That was a major thing off the list. I finished up doing some electrical work on it. Let's see, I flushed the head with got the oil in here and put new oil in, so we actually flushed it with kerosene, cleaned it out, cleaned the filters out, all that kind of stuff. Everything looks good here. Like I said, we're really and truly, this machine's usable now. The only thing I've got left to do is down here on the base is I need to finish just stripping a little bit of paint off of this and get this painted and get it bolted down so that I can actually put a vise on here and I want to drill a big hole. That's what I really want to do. And right now this thing is not mounted, so I kind of hate to put a lot of torque on it. I might actually spin the whole table down here would be my fear. So hopefully next week I'm going to get a video featuring this drill press because it's pretty much ready to go. In fact, I will admit I actually used it the other day to drill a little small hole. So I know it works. So anyway, this machine, we got a lot done on. I'm real happy with it. Let me show you some other things we've been working on. So we got the Cincinnati Bickford 21-inch super service drill press that at the same time that we were cleaning up the Carleton, we had a work day a couple of months ago. We worked on getting this machine cleaned up, and it was, again, probably 90% done as far as getting it ready to paint, probably 95% done. There were still a few little things we needed to get done on it. And I went ahead and we've been working on this some this week. So we came in, I took the table off. There's an issue with the mechanism that raises and lowers the table. And I'm probably gonna do a separate video on that because I've actually got to make a part for it. Now, that's kind of interesting. I didn't show me taking it apart, but I'll probably show you guys putting it back together and how it works because it is kind of an interesting mechanism there. And that'll be something coming down the road. But the machine itself, we got it all, we finished cleaning it up. Like I said, it was 95% done. And we got a coat of paint on it, as you can see, and I've been working on kind of just touching it up, getting all the details and whatever on here. Still got a little bit more work to do on this. Spent a good bit of time totally rewiring this thing. And you know, you wouldn't think it would be that big of a deal, but that rewiring it's just tedious work. It's not necessarily difficult work, but it's just, at least for me, it's slow work. So I took all the wiring out of this thing. We put all new wiring on here, put new armored cable in here. I've got to get some clamps on here to clamp that down. I put a new case on here. It's got a whole new motor starter in here. The one that was in here was just, it was in terrible shape. So anyway, we replaced all the electricals on this. And again, I have tested it out. The motor's working, the switch is working, everything's working on this. Still got to get in here and flush this system out. I got some little things I'm working on up here that on the oil system that's not quite ready yet. But anyway, made a lot of progress on the big Cincinnati Bickford Super Service. And this is, you know, quite honestly, a little bit of a duplication for me now that I've got the Carleton radio drill. But this is still a really neat drill. And for those of you that remember, this one actually came from Adam Booth. He actually gave me this drill press. It was one that he had in his shop, and he just wanted to get it out of his way. And this is going to be a nice machine. I'm really excited about having this. And it's really starting to shape up and look nice. Again, a little bit more work to do to it, but a lot of progress made on it. So another thing I'll mention that we worked on a little bit was this air compressor, and this was a gift a viewer gave me. I went and picked this thing up a little over a week ago, and I wanted to see, you know, what's going on with it, what have you. So again, off camera, I went back there, we got it wired up, plugged it in, and just turned it on. Let's see what's going to happen. Good news is the motor works, everything works good on it. Bad news is the pump appears to be not pumping. So I don't know exactly what's going on with that. That's going to be something I'm going to have to mess with a little bit later on. I went ahead and just kind of took everything off. We actually started stripping the paint off of the tank. Got a lot more work to do on this still. Again, I'm not sure exactly what to do about the pump, and just haven't really had a lot of time to mess with it yet. I did call air compressor company up in Macon, Georgia about it, just say, hey, can you guys rebuild this pump? And he's checking to see if they can get a rebuild kit for it. Evidently that pump was made back in the early 80s, and it's an obsolete pump now according to them. And anyway, they're checking to see if parts are available or what have you, to see what my options are. I told them I'd touch base with them after the first of the year. I think they're shutting down, and I got other things going on right now, so I'm not going to worry. I'm just going to put this on the back burner for a little bit. But hopefully we can get that pump rebuilt. May even try to do it myself. I've never rebuilt an air compressor pump before, but hey, I'm sure I can do it. I just need to do some research on it. But anyway, more on that later on, but I did want to kind of give you a quick update on the air compressor. A little disappointed that the pump was not working, but hey, the tank and the motor's good, so we got at least something to work with. So the other big project that we've been working on this week has been actually over here on the Monarch 28-inch lathe, and as long as we were doing all this stripping paint off and painting and whatever, I said, you know what, let's see if we can get this machine a little bit farther along, at least cosmetically. So last year, actually over Christmas break, I had the same college kid helping me out, and he was wanting to work a couple of days while I was going to be out of town, and I just said, hey, start stripping the paint off of this old lathe. Now, if you remember this lathe, when I brought it in here, this thing was really ugly. The paint was just peeling off of it. It really, really looked bad. And Miles came in and he started stripping paint off of this thing and got a lot of it done, but really just didn't get it finished. And it's just kind of been sitting in the shop, and it's still just kind of been an eyesore in the shop. Now, this machine, according to the person that I worked with to get it, unfortunately the person who owned it before me had passed away, but I was working through a friend of mine that knew the guy personally. He said that he always bragged about how accurate this machine was. So this was just a really good lathe. It did really good work. And even though it was ugly and not very pretty, it was functionally in pretty good shape. So I'm optimistic that we're not going to have to do a whole lot of work to this machine. And quite honestly, right now, I'm probably going to just go ahead, get it a fresh coat of paint, and we're going to hook it up to power and see what happens. And see how she runs. Now, at some point in time, I will probably go through this machine and do a true restoration on it. But right now, my goal is to just get it where it, number one, is functional, and number two, hopefully looks halfway decent. I won't call it a restoration, though. But anyway, we came in here, we've been working on this. If you've watched my videos and seen this before, it looks drastically different than it does right now. We got the chip pan out. It was stuck in place when I got this machine, and we had to do some work to just get it out of there, but we finally got it out. We've been cleaning it up. I've got the compound off right now. We took the little crane off that was on there that was holding up the chuck, and just basically been cleaning this thing up. And it is almost ready for paint. It's really, really close. I've still got a little bit more cleaning to do to it. We've got all the badges off of it and what have you. So we've actually spent a good bit of our time the last couple of days working on getting this machine kind of a little bit farther along, closer to being prepped for getting a paint job. And with any luck, here in the next month or so, I can actually get this machine painted where at least it won't look as bad sitting out here in the shop. Now, my next step on the back side of the shop, in the wood shop, which I was really kind of planning on working on this week, was I'm going to have to be doing some work on the walls in there and running some wire, getting some three-phase electrical work. I'm putting a sub-panel in there that will allow me to get kind of the back side of my shop wired up. I've been waiting to get some work done in there before I could run that electrical stuff, and that's kind of on my list, and I'm probably going to work on that next week. I've actually got some of the stuff I need to get started on that, so we're going to change gears after this week and go to work in there next week while I have a few more days that I can work and that I'll have Miles here. But the plan is that once I get my sub-panel in over there and do some electrical work in here, I'm going to go ahead and drop the proper size circuit to run this machine and hook it up to power, and let's just see what happens. And again, I was told that it was running before in the old shop. I did not get to see it run, but it was doing a good job. And I'll be honest with you, after cleaning this thing up, this thing was covered with gunk and all kinds of stuff. Things are moving on it pretty easily. So anyway, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Maybe we'll get lucky on this machine and be able to start using it some. A little bit ahead of what I think I really had in my mind. Again, I've decided I'm not going to do a full-blown restoration on it, at least not right now. At some point I will, but not right now. But this has taken up a lot of our time this past week, and we've got a lot of work done on this. And anyway, I'm excited that this machine is moving a little bit closer to being functional, hopefully. All right, so in addition to all the work on the 3 machines we've been kind of focusing on here this week, I've also done a lot of just cleaning and organizing out here in the shop. A couple of weeks ago, and I mentioned this I think in a previous video, I took all my toolboxes and emptied them out, and I got a new toolbox in here, and I've been kind of putting stuff up, and I had that probably 90% done, but there were still just the little odds and ends. You know, didn't want to get rid of them, but there really wasn't a place for a lot of them, and I finally got all that stuff organized and sorted out and put back up someplace. So even though my benches don't look super clean back here right now, they're a lot better than they were. I've got my stuff put back up anyway. And then let's see, I've also worked on a couple little projects, and I've got a video coming on one of those. They'll come out after Christmas because it was actually a Christmas present for someone. I did it for a friend of mine, but I didn't want to post the Christmas present video until after Christmas. So anyway, that one's actually a woodworking project I think some of you guys will enjoy. So we can be looking forward to that coming up here pretty soon. I did another little repair job that really wasn't video worthy. It was just something I need to get knocked out real quick. So anyway, a lot of stuff we've got done over the past 4 days working in the shop with Miles and myself out here. And I'm really excited about the progress that we made. And I'm really excited that hopefully next week we're going to be able to get back there in the back of the wood shop side and at least start the ball rolling on getting some things going back there. I've still got to get my ceiling wood in. That's something else. I actually ordered it several weeks ago, and I called them a couple of weeks ago, and somehow or another they misplaced my order and they didn't get it done. So it's on its way, but it's not here yet. And that was something else I was kind of planning on doing over Christmas, was starting to get all that wood painted. But in retrospect, I'm kind of glad that it got delayed, because it allowed me to get these machines worked on in here. And I really needed to get some of these projects that were underway completed, or at least a little bit farther along, before I got too deep into a whole nother project on the other side. So anyway, I'm kind of glad the way things have turned out. But anyway, just a quick update of the crazy week of things going on out here. Again, lots of stuff done. I'm looking forward to having a couple of days next week before I have to go back to work at the beginning of the year, and trying to get some more things done out here at the Vintage Machinery shop. So anyway, with that, that's going to be a wrap for now. We got Christmas coming up here this weekend. Looking forward to that. Got the Lathe giveaway. I've been watching the votes coming in on that, and I'm not going to give any hints on that yet, but we'll be announcing that on Christmas morning. So we got some things coming up here pretty quick, and like I said, a lot more work to do next week. Thanks guys for watching. We'll talk to you later.